I was going to start off this video with a joke about just reusing last year's Galaxy S24 Ultra in this year's S25 Ultra durability test video. But then I remembered what I did to last year's S24 Ultra and how little of it was left. Both Apple and Samsung have been on a titanium kick lately, which I approve of. I love titanium. Both companies just basically add a bit of the aerospace grade material to the exterior, which is fine. Honestly, it probably doesn't do a whole lot for the structure. It might be a tad lighter, but titanium is mostly just there for the marketing buzzwords. Be that as it may, titanium is still cool enough to always get a thumbs up from me. If you remember from last year, I did promise to try out the Z Flip, and I gave it a solid 30 days. But I did know after day one that I am far too lazy of a person to be opening and closing my phone all day, so after 30 days I switched back to an S24 with a grip case and x-ray scan that I've been using ever since. With this phone being so similar to last year's, there's only a few ways to tell if your friend actually got the new Samsung or not. The first method is to take a microscope to the camera lenses. At the atomic level, you can see that these new camera lenses are not officially attached to the phone at their base. They are slightly elevated, flexible, dust-collecting utopias. They don't immediately appear to be detachable, but you know we'll be doing some more testing on that here in a second. The only other way to tell if someone has the 2025 S24 Ultra is inside the S Pen. See, Samsung upgraded the internals of the S Pen with a downgrade, removing all of the Bluetooth hardware. Yeah, it does still have the coil of copper on the tip, so the digitizer on the screen can sense its presence, so the pen can still do all its doodling. But now the S Pen no longer has the ability to do air gestures, or act as a remote camera trigger, or even change the slides on a PowerPoint presentation, due to that lack of low-power Bluetooth. It also no longer has an internal battery at the back end. Surprisingly, it still has a slot for the battery, but the batteries are not included. Rumor on the street is that Samsung removed the battery so that they could sell more of their Galaxy finger rings and Galaxy watches, both of which can remotely operate things on the phone, but personally I think that's kinda lame. Either way though, when in doubt about which phone your friend might have, just check inside the S Pen. If it doesn't have a battery, it's the newer S25 Ultra. Also, this little woofer is indeed one of the stock wallpapers. Let me know down in the comments what we should name him. One thing Samsung did really well last year is with the invention of the Gorilla Glass armor, which surprisingly didn't get physically damaged until a level 7. However, as we work our way up the most scale of hardness, this time on Gorilla Glass Armor 2, we can see quite a few scratches at a level 6 with deeper grooves at a level 7. The markings down at level 2 just rub away, so we won't count those. One annoying thing that the phone is doing is telling me that the S Pen is not inside my phone, when it obviously, very clearly, is installed. Maybe it just needs the rest of the pieces. Nope, wasn't that. Anyway, I'm not too sure what's going on here with the glass at a level 6. It could be that the glass might just have been a tad too brittle last time, so they dialed it back with Gorilla Armor 2. All I know is glass, and glass breaks, for everyone, eventually. I'm a massive fan of the totally flat screen though. The 12 megapixel front-facing selfie camera is a hole punch into the center of the screen, right below the razor-thin earpiece slit. The only way to truly keep your screen scratch-free is with a layer of protection, like from the Prism 2.0 from my channel sponsor dbrand. I can snap the applicator tray in place, pull the lower tab, swipe my finger down the middle, and in less time than it took Samsung to design this year's S25 Ultra, I have a perfectly aligned screen protector that prevents 100% of screen scratches on your new $1,300 investment, while also doubling as a layer of impact protection for the glass underneath. Every order comes with 2 screen protectors, and at the rate Samsung is innovating, you'll probably be able to use the same glass on your S26 Ultra next year. Check it out at the link in the description. Real glass is where it's at. One thing you might not have noticed during Samsung's presentation is the really small print down near the bottom. I'll expand it for you. Turns out that the titanium is only applied to the device frame and is not applied to the buttons, and you can definitely hear the difference. The frame has more of a muted, softer sounding scratch, while the power and volume rocker are that tinny aluminum sound that we have all grown to know and love. The top of the S25 Ultra has more titanium, The left side has the 5G millimeter wave antenna with plastic covering. We'll see if that compromises any durability here in a second. The bottom of the phone is rather crowded. It's where our S Pen lives, or lived rather, also the lower stereo loudspeaker, and the 45-watt charging port. We also have an IP68 watertight SIM card tray with a gray rubber ring around the opening. It's not quite on par with the IP69 IP rating we saw in the OnePlus 13. I'm getting all kinds of vibes here that Samsung is slacking. Especially when we turn the phone over and zoom into the Samsung logo. The whole panel is soft-touched etched glass, which feels great, right? But the Samsung logo is just not right, not even close. Yes, my camera is in focus, and no, you don't need glasses. The Samsung logo is completely out of whack. And speaking of whack, remember, I do like Samsung, I use one as my daily driver, but this camera lens situation is giving me some pretty insecure vibes, like an IRL Instagram filter or a lifted truck. The top 50 megapixel ultra-wide camera has a large metal purely aesthetic ring around the glass. The middle 200 megapixel camera has the same large pronounced metal ring, along with the lower 50 megapixel 5x telephoto. There's another 10 megapixel 3x telephoto off to the side, but these camera bumps, not actually being attached to the glass, kind of reminds me of that fake engine noise that some EVs try to do. Cause like, they aren't even real. Yeah, the ring is for sure secure and I don't think they'll ever fall off on their own, but they really are over here just glued into place like a pair of fake eyelashes. Razor blades historically aren't the strongest of pry bars, but even so, my jerry-rig razor knife is 2-0 for popping off Samsung's fake camera lenses without breaking. The third one started to peel up the back glass, which would have started the teardown video early, but since we haven't finished the durability test yet, I'll hold off for now. But I don't know, are these manufacturer mods worthy of a $1,300 smartphone build? I don't want to say I'm getting Temu vibes, but back in my day, $1,300 used to go a lot farther. Anyway, no hard feelings, pup, but to no one's surprise, not much has changed in the screen department either this year. Still 6.9 inches, AMOLED, 120 Hz, but it's all stuff we've seen before and nothing super new. After about 30 seconds, my lighter barely leaves a mark, but also does not recover. Fire is hot, who would have thought? Finally, the bin test. With the titanium body and Gorilla Armor Glass 2, along with Samsung's near-perfect decade-long streak of not snapping in half, it's no surprise that the Samsung Galaxy S25 Ultra has basically no flex whatsoever when bent from the back or the front. There's no cracks in the frame, no separation of the glass or the antenna lines, just pure survival skills, except for those camera lenses. But honestly, I think they look better without the rings around them anyway. If you really want to maintain your resale value of $1,300, $1,500 after the tariffs kick in, I highly recommend picking up a clear case from my channel sponsor Dbrand. As you can see, it's got no MagSafe magnets, and like pretty much other clear case you've ever owned, is obnoxiously pre-yellowed for your convenience. Oh, wait, sorry. This is the Ghost Case 2.0. With its precise cutouts for each of the cameras, back when they were attached, the Qi 2 built-in magnets make clicking into magnetical wireless chargers incredibly convenient, and has some nice clicky buttons. It sounds like my 18-month-old might be getting into my razor knife stash at the moment, so I'll have to cut this video short. Just remember Dbrand's Ghost Case 2.0 has a lifetime guarantee that'll never turn yellow. So go get your Ghost 2.0 from the link in the description. It'll definitely help keep your camera lenses right where they should be. Thanks a ton for watching. I'll see you around.